Not very well, obviously. Got off to a slow start. I thought we played soft and timid, and again, when we did have moments to flip it, we didn't make enough plays to answer that to try to make it a better football game.
What was your reaction to how slowly the game started, and what did you kind of try to do to correct it as the game proceeded?
Well, again, it's when teams are moving the ball on you, and they're mixing it up on some different things. There's things that you're trying to go through and correct as far as what happens on each play, whether it be gap integrity, whether it be setting edges, missed tackles, proper eye placement on coverages and eye discipline. There's things that we continue to stress and we have to get better at, and it's not the players' fault. We got to do a better job coaching it and get it to where it can be at a point where you see it consistently on the field.
How concerning is it to have some of those issues coming off of a bye week when you have the chance to work on that?
It's concerning to have its period in Game 11, really, Michael. Anytime you're at this and you're saying some of the same stuff, it's concerning, and it's concerning that you gotta continue to look at it and what you're doing and how they're doing it and who's on the field doing it. It's everything, and who's coaching it, who's doing it. Everything has to be evaluated, or we're kidding ourselves.
How do you have a feel for how much of the struggles on defense was your stuff and versus what they were doing?
It depends on the play,
Sure.
Really, Matt. It's, there's times where they're executing at a high rate. They have a nice scheme. We knew that there would be some things that really challenge your discipline, and again, they do a great job, and they're pulling things, their tight ends, their movements where they create extra gaps and things like that. But there's other things where, again, I think we have guys that are trying to do more than what their responsibility is really supposed to be on certain plays, and again, there's part of you that wants to. You got guys that are wanting and wanting to help this team and make things happen, but there's also a thing about doing your one of the 11 part of the job, and right now we struggle with that sometimes, it seems, and it's disappointing.
Were there specific times during this game where you felt like that was the case, where people were trying to do more than they were supposed to?
Yeah, there were some times, and again, there's things about, because you see guys going places that aren't necessarily their responsibility and things, and what the call is supposed to be. But again, we have to continue to emphasize that within this scheme, and to make sure that we're getting it executed, because again, there's times where it flashes and there's times that it doesn't.
Did it ever look like Jalen wouldn't come back into the game after he exited?
Did it ever look like he wouldn't?
That he wasn't going to come back?
That's just he comes off the field, they take him in the tent, and you wait for the answer if he can go or not. And I was told that he was in the tent. They're looking at it, and it's and they were going to let me know. And shortly thereafter, he said he's okay to go. So.
Did you have any words for Cole when he came in?
Again, when he made a heck of a play on that play, and he's, again, guys prepare and do things. He did a really nice job. And again, that's the thing we've talked about Cole for a long time. He's a guy who's mature and doesn't flinch, and he went in there and made a big play. So just tell him to relax, execute the offense, and we told him what we were looking for, and obviously he made a nice throw.
Your first drive to start the second half, got down the field quickly, looked pretty physical. What was the message at halftime, and how did you like what you saw there?
Again, that we had the ball, we started feeling good that towards the end of the half that we had some things that could start opening up and we thought we could get Daniel off to and we hit some runs, and we talked about again that here we have a chance to flip the script, and they answered, and they answered that, and I thought we did a good job. The disappointing part was that I don't know if it was on the ensuing drive, we have Iowa State first and 25, and they convert and go down. That one really hurt, and you think you got yourself in a position to really keep the momentum coming and making things happen.
In the first half, I think 23 seconds left, 17-0. In that situation, how close are you to wanting to push it versus?
Yeah,
like
we
you
talked
guys
about
did?
if we could have, if we could break it or not, but we're backed up. You know, it's then again where we were at. They had all 3 timeouts, so our thing was if we bust the run, okay, then we're gonna go, okay, and I think we've talked about that in these before. That's kind of our thing is that if we run it and depending on how they play, and then we're gonna go and then maybe try, but we're going into the wind. Our field goal range wasn't nearly what it's been going the other direction. It was going to take a hell of a drive, and we looked at it as far as if we can hit it. If not, because the next thing you get into, then of course is they got a chance to kill the clock. Come after we had again big picture. We just had it. We earlier in that same half we have a snap go over our punter's head. And as a head coach, you got to keep that in your mind, okay? And the last thing you want to do is if it's 4th down, give them a chance to tee off and come after us and really have it snowball on us for the half. So that all went into the thought process, you know, and you know, considering it all, you know, there's not a lot of 80-yard drives in 23 seconds or what it is. So I mean, for us to be there and then regroup and then go down and score the first drive, I'm confident with the decision I made.
Lance, they completed balls in front of your DBs quite a bit.
Yeah.
Is that
We
part
talked
of
about it. We tried to tighten it up more in the second half. We thought we gave way too much cushion and doing those things again. There's times, you know, sometimes, you know, you come up here and you worry about the surface. Guys slip and guys don't have a lot of confidence. You know, I thought the field was in great condition today, so that's nothing. But I think sometimes when you're looking at this whole picture right now, there's, you know, honestly, we're not playing with much confidence, and you can see that out there. And that's where you're catching in blocks, and you're not attacking at the second, third level tackling, and you're not playing very confidently in the back end covering guys. And you know, we've got to continue to work on that and work on building confidence, you know, all the way through this as we consider to go. You know, here we are this late in the season, but again, that's a new secondary that we've had all year. We've tried to build confidence with these young guys, and again, I think there's been times we've been to the point where we thought people would take a lot more shots over our head, and they really haven't done a lot of that all year. Part of it maybe is because we are playing so far off, but we do have to find a way to mix that up at certain times and you know, not have so many gimme throws.
Then the touchdowns too, that they hit the tight end over the top. 4th downs, how deflating is that for a defense?
Very, because you practice that and you work on it, and again, and where are your eyes and where's your consistency? Are you trusting your training? And again, I can't sit here and say that it's all players' issues, okay? I want to make sure I make that very clear here, okay? We got to coach it better, drill it better, and get there. But to say that we've never seen a tight end pop pass, play action pass from Iowa State on film, you know, isn't true. And again, we've got to have situational awareness and making sure we do it. We gotta coach it and drill it better and find a way to execute it.
Time for more, Lance, you guys are in a similar position to last year. We go into the last game needing a win against a good team. How do you ensure what happened last year doesn't repeat itself?
You got to challenge the group. You got to go to work. Got a short week. Got all the things that we have. We've been playing for that 6th one for a while. We talked about where they want to be and do they really want to do it. And again, you've got to make sure that we got a bunch of really good young men playing their last regular season football game. And I think we owe it to them to put our best efforts out all you know, from the time we get on this bus to finish watching this film, turn the page and start on Utah.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Lance.